What is going on, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick video. Today we finally get some overdrive for the Fury Wagon. This is one upgrade that I just really wanted for this truck, basically since I got it. But now that I've kind of got it tweaked and dialed in to where I want it, it's running great. I just needed that little bit of overdrive, so really excited to get these installed. These should work with the CR18P axles as well, so these things are probably going to sell like crazy. These are a 20% overdrive, and I think that's pretty close to perfect because in my experience in 10 scale, like that's kind of around the perfect spot. Anything over 30 for me personally was too much. You kind of start to fight yourself on any loose stuff or side hill. You know, it really kind of affects your side hill, but that 20% mark I think is going to help us get just a little tighter turning radius, because you're kind of dragging that rear a little bit, almost like if you locked dig in, you know, but you're not getting the full effect. You're getting a little bit of more pull out of the front. And then your straight up climbs where you really need that front to kind of grab before the rear just loops you out. This is gonna help tremendously. So I feel like the 20% is a really good starting point for sure. And I just can't wait to get these in here. So I'm gonna install these, show you guys real quick kind of the overdrive that we're getting, and then we'll just go run this thing and see how it performs. All right, so just so you guys don't have to take my word for it, we're going to see what this thing can do before the overdrive and then after, just on the incline board. Now, this is not everything, I mean, but we'll see if it helps our incline. 57.2 basically. I've played around with this. This is about all this thing can get. You can see there, just really don't hardly like it. I mean, it really don't even want that. So let's drop it just a hair. 56.6 or 5 something. Slid off the side. So really I'd say the 56.5 mark is about all it likes. I'm going off the side there. This thing sits almost wider than my ramp here, but as you can see, 56.5, somewhere in there. Really about the max on this. So we'll get the overdrive installed and then we'll try this again. All right, so now we got the overdrive installed. Let's see, we're at 56.5. Let's bump it on up to 57.5. Can we get basically 1 degree? Whoa. So one thing I ran into when putting these onto my truck was the gear was too large and it was rubbing this lip in here on the brass covers. Wouldn't work on the plastic covers that I had either. It was just hitting a little bit. Not quite as bad maybe as the brass, but it still wouldn't turn well. With the brass cover, it wouldn't turn at all. I put this all together. The front end was just locked up. Now this is the RC all-wheel drive cover, so I thought, well, maybe it's those, and the Furiteks are slightly different. So these are the Furytek covers. Same thing. So if you watch here, put this bearing in here, you'll see that when I put this in, it's locked up completely. It's because that gear is hitting that lip in there. The gear's just a little too big. So I don't know if this is just an issue with mine. I messaged them. They acted like they didn't know anything about it. But both of these covers for me are having this issue. So just know that could be something you have to run it, go and do, is just kind of grind this out. I just took a Dremel with a file like end on it and just hit it pretty good. It seemed like even this gear here was kind of hitting the paint on the inside, so that's why I just went ahead and knocked the paint off of all of this. So a little bit more on this and hopefully I'll be good. Just so you can kind of see the overdrive working, I've put this tape on here pretty close to the same spot. The play in these things is ridiculous, honestly. But you'll see here, the front should spin a little faster than the rear. It's already engaging before the rear, see that? So definitely got a little overdrive in the front now. Let's try this incline again and see how it goes. All right, so we got 56.5 earlier. Let's just try to go 57. I don't expect to gain a ton with these, but it's really gonna help on those spots where we need the front to kind of engage before the rear loops us out, more than just this straight climb, I think. Still lifting that front right there. It can get this, but we're getting that torque twist. It's kind of lifting that left front. We are able to go up that. I think we could fully get the 57, so we may have gained a half a degree. Something else Furytek sent me that I'll have to test out is a new axle for the rear of this housing, which will allow us to flip things around and run this shaft here on the transmission, which is supposed to help with that torque twist. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I couldn't leave you guys hanging like that. I had to just go ahead, we'll test this out. So you can see the way this gear is in here now. When we switch this drive shaft over to that shaft right there on the transmission, it's gonna be spinning the opposite way. So we need to flip this gear. The easy way to do that is with this housing that they've made, because you can see now it just allows for that gear to be ran on either side instead of one side. So we're gonna swap this onto here and we'll see if it helps with that torque twist we were just now getting. All right, so you can see I pulled all the guts out of the stock housing. Going to install it into this one. I am installing the Furytek bearing kit as I do this, just to get rid of the bushings, keep this thing super smooth. And then I swapped the drive shaft from the rear, from the left to the right. So we're gonna get this all back together and then we'll test it out. All right, as you can see, very pretty. I went ahead and installed the brass outer portal covers. Got this all greased up, everything's really smooth and ready to roll. So gonna get this cover on, slap this all back together, and then we're gonna find out if this works. All right, we got the rear housing installed, drive shaft switched, overdrive gears working, 57.3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. I could stay on the board, we would get this. I think we helped torque twist, but we definitely just kind of transferred it also. You can see that right front lifting. But I think it's much less than it was before. We're pulling 57.5 now. It still don't like it. But it can definitely climb 57.5. You can see it right there. They take this body off, probably get another half a degree or so. Just to show you guys what this hard body does to this truck. Right up and no problem. So just removing this little bit of weight that this body is. That's why I always tell people, like, any weight above this axle is bad weight. You know, I see people running brass servos and all that stuff. It's not needed. You're adding weight, yes, but it's higher than you want it. Honestly, you want everything as low as you can get it. All of this stuff, it's technically not good, you know, but it would be better if I could get it down here. I just didn't want any more hang up points, really. I was trying to keep that clearance, so it kind of is what it is on this truck. It's not a pure performance rig. I just love the look of it, and the performance is satisfactory for me. You know, it's really good. Not as good as maybe something like that or whatever, but if you add weight above this axle line, it's a waste. I mean, it just really is. So let's take this out to the course and see how it runs. This climb right here is one of the ones I was talking about where overdrive just really helps. It helps that front pull first, and it kind of keeps the front pulled in, keeps you from looping out, and you can see this thing walks up that pretty easily. Overall, I found that it was doing most things on the course a lot easier. It just felt more planted going up some of the steeper inclines, and you'll see that in a minute. But overall, you know, I don't think the rear axle flip like eliminated torque twist. It transferred it and reduced it, you know, so it's now on the right side, but it's less than before, I think. So I think it's definitely an improvement. The overdrive gears, 100% an improvement. You know, it's exactly what I was wanting for this truck. You'll see on this line here, I kind of hit it slow just seeing what it'll do. And look, it stays planted. Both sides are planted really well. If the tires wasn't slipping there, hitting it a little slower, it would have just kind of slow crawled that. I hit it with a little bit of wheel speed, straight up it. So in my opinion, this is a really good upgrade for this truck. Definitely the overdrive gears. And then I think the axle helped, like I said, with the torque twist. So I'm probably going to have to get a front axle to match it, honestly, because I noticed I have a slight crack in my steering block on the front. That, or I'm just going to have to switch to some brass or aluminum steering, like C-hubs, basically. So I may have to change that out soon. I put a little bit of tire glue on it for now and got some running in. But this thing felt great on the course. It's doing exactly what I thought it should do, you know. It's not built for pure performance. I could easily change the body and get rid of the scale accessories and get a lot more performance out of it, but it's just not what I want it to be, you know. I like the way this thing looks. I love the way it's driving. This is another climb here. It just walks up this, and there's a lot of trucks that struggle with that. So I'm very pleased with it. You guys let me know what you think about these upgrades. Are you going to do them? I would highly suggest the overdrive. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. Everybody uses overdrive for the most part. The rear axle, that's kind of your opinion. You know, I think it helped a little. It's not like an insane amount of difference, but it did seem to help. So I'll link everything in the description. You guys let me know what you think about it, and are you going to pick these up? Not, whatever. This thing's balanced out really well. I think the brass portal covers on the rear helped it too. Did you see it like just kind of slowly slid down that? So it's just balanced out really well. Here again, I'm hitting that same line, trying to go kind of light on the throttle just to see what I can get away with getting up this. I can easily just launch it all the time. But the fact that it stays planted and goes right up that, pretty sweet. So I'm very happy with it. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Peace.